Hi, I have in front of me a 50-meter HDMI over Ethernet extender. It's 4K and it supports IR. So basically what this means is it can support the very highest resolution 4K pictures, and also it allows us to control the set-top box from the remote location. The total distance over which it will work is 50 meters, as the name suggests, and it's available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie. So we're excited enough about these new 4K units. Simply there's been demand out there pushing for us to add these on, simply because 4K technology is becoming more and more popular. So what we're going to do at this point is I'll give an overview of exactly what comes in the outer box, description of the units themselves, and then we'll give a demonstration of it actually working. We actually have a set-top box here connected using one of these units to this TV. So it comes in this outer box here. We have two power units with it. These particular ones are 5 volts, 1 amp output on it. We have a very brief user manual that's in a combination of languages, including some English and graphics on it. And what we have here then is we have two, a sender and receiver unit, and I'll just demonstrate how they're being used in a few moments' time. So what we'll do is we'll start and talk about the transmitter unit first of all. So it's saying 4K media extender on it, and it's indicated as a transmitter here. If we look on this side here, on the input side, we'll take a HDMI lead coming from our set-top box, run it directly in here, and we'll also connect our power unit directly on here. It just pushes in there. There's a reset button if we need to reset it. Sometimes a picture might freeze or something like that, so it's standard across extenders generally to have a reset button. Just pause the signal and resend it, and it can sort of clear any errors that might occur. And what we have then is the IR here. And what we'll add on is an IR sender, which will sit in front of the set-top box. And on the output side then, what's effectively happening is we're sending in a HDMI signal, but we're sending it out as a CAT5 signal here. Okay, so we have an Ethernet thing, and we can use a pre-terminated Ethernet cable here. Now we're going to be extending out to the full 50 meters. You want to be using really good quality CAT5, CAT6 cable, pure copper, something like that is that thing. On shorter runs, you can get away with less high-spec cable. So we'll come along then, on the receiver end, what we'll have is we'll have the Ethernet cable will feed directly in here. And what we need to do now is we need to convert that back over to HDMI. So we connect our power unit here. We have our HDMI output, which will run up and connect directly to our TV. And what we have then is we have an IR sensor here, which can take a signal via the sensor and run it directly back to the set-top box. So let's look at the setup here. So we have our set-top box, which is here. We have our transmitter unit here. So what we have is the HDMI lead coming from this set-top box, goes directly in here, and we have a power unit connected into it. It's just off screen. And what we have is the IR unit is there. So what we do is, what we're saying here is let's come along and leave this IR unit directly in front of the set-top box, so that when signals are coming back to change channels, it's sent directly into the set-top box. So if we look at the output then, we have this. In this case, I think it's a 10-meter CAT5 cable running all the way over to the 4K unit here. So this is the receiver unit. And what it must do now is it must transform the signal from CAT5 back into HDMI and run it back up here, while at all times supporting the 4K, 2K resolution of the picture, okay? And what we have then also is we have a transmitter unit here. So what it means is I can actually pick up the remote control here, and I can aim this directly at the sensor here, and it can bring up the menu thing. And what's happening here is it's actually coming along, and it's the HDMI signal is coming through the CAT5 cable directly here, and then the signal to change the channels in the set-top box is going in the opposite direction, and it comes back out here and it's fed directly in. So it's really, really clever in terms of design. So these have been very, very popular products for us. We're just adding into the 4K version. The downside is they're considerably more expensive. They're probably about twice the price of what the standard units are. But if people are investing a lot of money, we'll say, into a Sky 4K set-top box, or one of the Sky Q boxes or something like that, and a thing, they may just want to spend the money to make sure that they have the full picture resolution that they're paying for. And this unit here delivers it. Like all of the HDMI products that we sell on freetv.ie in terms of extenders, splitters, etc., these units here are available with free delivery directly from freetv.ie.